Rassie Erasmus has sent a clear message ahead of one of rugby's most anticipated rivalries, but it might not be the message many fans expected. As excitement continues to build for the upcoming rugby's greatest rivalry series between the Springboks and the All Blacks, the South African head coach has revealed that he is prepared to release some of his star players back to their franchises for tour matches against New Zealand, provided it does not weaken the national squad. It is a decision that perfectly captures Rassie Erasmus' long-term thinking, balancing the immediate needs of the Springboks with the broader health of South African rugby. While supporters are already looking ahead to the blockbuster clashes against New Zealand, Erasmus insists his attention remains firmly fixed on the first challenge in front of him, Argentina. Speaking to the media after naming his latest squad, the World Cup winning coach made it clear that his side is completely focused on the trip to Buenos Aires and is refusing to be distracted by the excitement surrounding the All Blacks' arrival in South Africa. South African rugby has committed to honoring its international relationships by playing a one-off match in Argentina before shifting attention to the famous rivalry with New Zealand, and according to Erasmus, that remains the only priority for now. The Springboks recently named a strong 43-man squad for both the Argentina fixture and the rugby's greatest rivalry series, but there have already been changes. Several players were released back to their provincial teams, while lock Ruben van Heerden was allowed to join his new French club Montpellier, although he remains on standby if needed. Injury has also forced adjustments, with prop Ntuthuko Makunu returning to the squad after Oxenchi was ruled out alongside experienced lock Franco Mostert for the Argentina clash. Despite those setbacks, Erasmus delivered encouraging news by confirming that key stars including Eben Etzebeth, Siya Kolisi, Sasha Fine-Ngomezulu, Lud de Jager, Kanan Moody, Andre Esterhuizen, and Ethan Hooker are all fit and available, giving the coaching staff plenty of quality as they prepare for a demanding international schedule. Meanwhile, across the Tasman rivalry, Dave Rennie has unveiled his All Blacks touring squad, with players arriving in South Africa on different flights before their opening provincial clash against the Stormers in Cape Town. Naturally, many expected Erasmus to analyse every detail of New Zealand's selection, but the Springbok coach admitted he has barely looked at the squad because his attention is locked on Argentina. According to Erasmus, there will be a smaller coaching group that begins studying the All Blacks while the main squad travels, but he personally has not yet had the opportunity to examine every selection or tactical option. He acknowledged the excitement surrounding the All Blacks after their impressive performances in the opening Nations Championship matches and admitted everyone expects an incredibly difficult series, yet he stressed that looking too far ahead would be a mistake. That disciplined approach has become one of the defining characteristics of Rassie Erasmus' leadership. Instead of allowing emotion or anticipation to dictate preparation, he continues to focus on one challenge at a time, ensuring the Springboks remain mentally sharp for every opponent rather than overlooking any team on the schedule. Perhaps the biggest talking point from his latest media appearance was his willingness to release Springboks back to their franchises during the rugby's greatest rivalry series. Traditionally, national coaches are reluctant to let international players participate in additional fixtures during a crucial test window, but Erasmus believes every player deserves meaningful game time. He explained that there is little value in keeping a player inside the Springbok camp if there is no realistic opportunity for him to feature in a test match. Instead, allowing those players to represent their franchises against the touring All Blacks not only keeps them match fit but also strengthens South African rugby as a whole by ensuring the provincial teams remain highly competitive. However, Erasmus was equally clear that there are limits to this strategy. He emphasized that player releases will only happen if the Springboks remain fully protected in every key position. Squad depth has become one of South Africa's greatest strengths over the past several years, and the coaching staff has no intention of risking that advantage simply to strengthen provincial teams. If there is any doubt about injury cover or positional balance, those players will remain with the national squad. It is another example of the careful planning that has helped transform the Springboks into one of World Rugby's most consistent and successful teams. Rather than focusing only on the starting 15, Erasmus continues to build depth across every position, ensuring multiple players are capable of stepping into the international arena whenever required. That philosophy has already delivered remarkable success, allowing South Africa to rotate players while maintaining world-class standards and reducing the physical workload on key stars during an increasingly demanding calendar. It also highlights the confidence the coaching staff has in the wider playing group. By giving fringe players opportunities with their franchises instead of leaving them inactive, the Springboks can maintain both sharpness and morale throughout the squad. As anticipation grows for another unforgettable chapter in rugby's greatest rivalry, Rassie Erasmus is refusing to be distracted by the hype. His focus remains on defeating Argentina first, protecting squad depth, managing player workloads intelligently, and ensuring every decision serves the long-term success of South African rugby. If history has taught rugby fans anything, it is that when Rassie Erasmus sticks to a carefully planned process rather than chasing headlines, the Springboks usually arrive exactly where they want to be, and with Argentina standing first in their path and the All Blacks waiting beyond, South Africa appears determined to enter the rivalry stronger, fresher, and better prepared than ever before.
Rassie Erasmus has once again shown why he is regarded as one of the most calculated and forward-thinking coaches in world rugby, delivering a message that has sparked plenty of discussion ahead of the highly anticipated rugby's greatest rivalry series against the All Blacks. While fans across South Africa and New Zealand are already counting down the days until two of rugby's biggest powerhouses collide, the Springbok head coach has made it crystal clear that his focus is exactly where it needs to be, on Argentina. At the same time, he has unveiled an important part of his strategy for the weeks ahead, confirming that selected Springboks could be released to their franchises to face the touring All Blacks, but only if doing so does not weaken South Africa's chances in the Test arena. It is a decision that perfectly reflects Rassie Erasmus' philosophy of thinking beyond the next match and constantly building a stronger national system, rather than concentrating only on the biggest headlines. As the Springboks continue their preparations for a demanding international schedule, every move made by Erasmus is being closely watched. His squad announcement earlier this month immediately generated debate, not only because of the players selected but also because of the balance between established stars, experienced veterans, and emerging talent. The Springboks named a 43-man squad to prepare for their trip to Buenos Aires as well as the rugby's greatest rivalry series, demonstrating that squad depth remains one of South Africa's greatest strengths. Several players were subsequently released back to their franchises, while lock Ruben van Heerden was allowed to join his new club, Montpellier, although he remains on standby should the Springboks require additional cover. That flexibility has become one of the defining characteristics of the current South African setup. Instead of treating every squad selection as permanent, Erasmus has built an environment where players move in and out depending on form, injuries, tactical needs, and long-term planning, ensuring everyone remains involved and motivated. Injuries, however, continue to test even the deepest squads. The Springboks suffered an early setback with experienced prop Ox Enchi being ruled out of the clash against Argentina through injury, while veteran lock Franco Mostert is also unavailable for the trip. Rather than viewing those absences as major crises, Erasmus quickly responded by recalling Tuthuko Makunu, reinforcing the squad without disrupting the overall structure. More importantly for South African supporters, the head coach delivered reassuring news regarding several of the nation's biggest stars. According to Erasmus, influential leaders such as Siya Kolisi, towering lock Eben Etzebeth, dynamic playmaker Sasha Feinbergen-Gomezulu, experienced second-row Lud de Jager, exciting backs Kanan Moody and Ethan Hooker, as well as powerhouse centre Andre Esterhuizen, are all fit and available for selection. Their availability provides a huge boost ahead of what promises to be one of the most demanding stretches of the international season. While South Africa continues its preparations, attention across the rugby world has also shifted toward New Zealand after Dave Rennie officially announced the All Blacks squad that will travel to South Africa. The squad includes a blend of experienced internationals and exciting newcomers, with players arriving in the Republic on staggered flights before beginning their tour with a provincial clash against the Stormers in Cape Town. Naturally, many expected Rassie Erasmus to immediately begin dissecting every selection and planning detailed tactical responses. Instead, the Springbok coach offered an answer that surprised many observers. He admitted that he has only briefly looked at the All Black squad because his entire attention remains fixed on Argentina. According to Erasmus, there will be members of the coaching group who remain behind and begin detailed analysis of New Zealand while the team travels, but he personally refuses to lose sight of the immediate challenge. It is a reminder of one of the most important lessons in elite sport: championships are often lost by teams looking too far ahead. For Erasmus, Argentina deserves complete respect, and overlooking Los Pumas, even for a moment, would be a mistake. His comments also highlighted the growing respect for the All Blacks under Dave Rennie. Although he admitted he has not yet studied every detail of New Zealand's squad, Erasmus acknowledged that excitement around the All Blacks is understandable after their impressive performances during the opening stages of the Nations Championship. The New Zealanders have shown encouraging signs under their new leadership, displaying improved attacking rhythm, physical intensity, and renewed confidence. Those performances have already increased anticipation for what many believe could become another unforgettable chapter in rugby's greatest rivalry. Yet despite all the external noise, Erasmus continues to follow the same disciplined process that has brought South Africa extraordinary success over recent years. Perhaps the most fascinating revelation from his latest media appearance was his willingness to allow Springbok players to represent their franchises during the All Blacks tour. In previous eras, many national coaches would have insisted on keeping every international player inside the national camp throughout such an important test series. Erasmus, however, believes development and meaningful game time are just as valuable as simply remaining in camp. He explained that if a player is unlikely to feature in a Springbok test, it makes little sense to leave him inactive while his franchise has the opportunity to face the touring All Blacks. Those provincial matches offer outstanding experience, high-intensity competition, and valuable opportunities for players to continue developing against world-class opposition. At the same time, they strengthen South African rugby by ensuring local franchises remain competitive and capable of challenging international touring sides. Nevertheless, Erasmus made one aspect of his strategy absolutely clear. The Springboks will never compromise their own squad depth. If there is any possibility that releasing a player could leave South Africa exposed because of injuries, positional shortages, or tactical requirements, that player will remain with the national team.